Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've presenting our webinar tonight is Michel Pascal, who's a French writer, documentary maker, and teacher of Buddhist practices, mindfulness, meditation. He lives in Los Angeles, and he used to live in a monastery in Nepal, and he's got loads of insight into how we can use Buddhist practices to help deal with addictions and stress. So if you're feeling stressed and you need to unwind, then relax and listen to Michel for the next 40 minutes. If you've got any questions at the end, then you can, or throughout, just type them into the box at the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll ask Michel those questions at the end. So I hope you enjoy it and find it useful, and I'll hand you over to Michel now. Thanks, Michel.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for all Soberistas. I am very happy, like a child, to make this conference for every one of us. So just before to start, the first question when we teach is, why are we able to teach? So in a few seconds, I would like to explain that, so me, I have made the book with the Dalai Lama, Instance Sacrée, published in Europe by Prisma Press. Prisma, it's Geo and National Geographic for Europe. And I live during many years in Nepal, and especially in Kopan Monastery. Kopan Monastery is the biggest monastery in the Himalayas. We are like 1,000 monks and nuns in another monastery. There is a monastery for men and for nuns. And so me, my questions was to adapt the pure knowledge that we receive when we live in a monastery and when we live with a high Lama. My teacher was Chepa Dorje Rinpoche. Chepa Dorje Rinpoche is a family of Milarepa, so since many centuries. So it's a pure Buddhism teaching, and what means Buddhism, or it's like the Dalai Lama say many times, it's not a religion, but it's a science of the culture. So my question, my spiritual intuition was how we can adapt in our daily life the pure knowledge that we receive and that we live day and night when we live in a monastery. Because it's a thing to talk about spirituality and well-being and yoga, but it's another thing when you live in a monastery and when you live inside the spirituality night and day. So the first thing is, what does meditation mean? Most of the time we think that meditation means to be like that during 30 minutes per day. It's a cliche in reality. It's like Hollywood, but it's not the true definition. The true definition in Sanskrit language, the original language for Tibetan people, the sacred language, meditate means to train our mind to see our emotions, to feel better. So the goal of the meditation, it's not to become more Buddhism, less Buddhism. No. The goal of meditation, it's to become more present, so more conscient, so more compassion, so more freedom. I mean interior freedom. And to feel better every moment of our life. So the thing is, meditation, it's so simple. It's how can I train my mind all the time. Me, I have explained to you, I work from my monastery, but also I work with neuroscience. And my associate is Dr. Mario Beauregard. Mario Beauregard is in the world one of the well-known famous neuroscientists. He has made conferences with Dalai Lama, and he put electrode on your brain, and we see exactly what's happening on a computer. Because it's very interesting to talk, like we say about the conscience, the emotions, but it's very interesting to see how the works brain. So we know that every emotion it's an addiction. And it is the first part of the conference today that I would like to develop to every one of us. Most of the time, if we say, I smoke, I drink, I take drugs, we feel guilty. We feel that the society is not kind with us. But if you say, I am stressed, I am jealous, I am anxious, we don't feel guilty because in our world, we think that it's normal. But in reality, in the brain, in the conscience, this is the same mechanism. So it's very important to see that every emotion, it's an addiction, a neurochemical addiction. So the goal of the meditation is to reprogram the cognitive process, because when we have a neurochemical addiction, when we are addicted to an emotion, like we say, the same thing if we drink, but if we have stress, how can we reprogram our cognitive process? How can we change our perception of life? How can we create a positive addiction instead of to create a destroyed addiction? Because you must know, and we know, that when we drink or if we smoke, if we have any addiction, we destroy our brain, we destroy our body. We know that. Of course, every people we know. So the question, the point very important, the first part maybe, it's to don't become slave of our emotions, and to understand that if we take alcohol, drugs, or cigarette, or if we are stressed, anxious, in reality this is the same process. After the society, the dog, the judge, will say, oh, you drink, oh, you are stressed, it's perfect in your job. No. In reality, any addiction, any negative addiction, it's not good. So it is the first point, maybe the most important. The most important is to understand that when we drink, when we smoke, or if we are stressed, we cannot feel guilty. There is just a neurochemical addiction. The second thing, it's when we have an addiction, most of the time when we make a therapy, we try to find the causation of the problem. Of course, it's good to try to find the causality, the causation, why we drink, why we smoke, why we are stressed, why we are anxious. But we know that when we find a causation, there is another causation. For example, we can say when I was a child, it was difficult at home, my parents drink, or they were violent, and me, I become like that. So, but if we ask the questions to the parents, they can say, when we were child, our parents, so it's transgenerational. The roots of the causation, there is no hand in reality. So, in the way of meditation that I propose to you and that I teach, the past is past. The most important is to see the present moment. It's not to active the past, because when we talk in therapy many times about the causation of the problem, we reactive the memory of the problem. So it's a second point, very important in the conference today. It's to understand that the most important is to see how works our addiction, so how we can be present. Because when we are stressed, or if we drink, if we have any addiction like that, it's because we are not present. We are in the past, we are slave about our emotions, but we are not in the present moment. And it's not a question of religious, it's a question of intelligence. We know past is past, finished. Future, who knows? Me, I talk to you, maybe in 1 minute I will be that. And at the same time I talk to you, I don't know. I hope I can finish for you the teaching. But so the only thing that we can be sure is the present moment that we share just now together. And to enjoy every minute. We know that most of the time we are present to our lives only in a very dramatic situations. If we are so sick, if a friend of us is died, and if we are in a dramatic situation, suddenly we come back to the present moment. But in reality, we must be present in every moment because we must enjoy every day is a miracle. Every day it's not one more day, or every evening like today it's not one more evening, but one more chance, one more occasion to be more present. And more we are present, more we see our emotions. So this is the other point, very important for the teaching. Our emotions are like waves. Our addictions are like waves. They start, they grow up, and they resolve. For example, if we drink, or if we want to smoke, or if we use drugs, we can see clearly that the process starts, grows, resolve, like a wave on the ocean. So one of the highest teachings that we can practice is to see the waves of the addiction, to see the wave of the emotion, because it's just when the wave starts, but if we see at this moment the start of the process, if we have an action, if we see the beginning of the wave, we are cured at 70%. Because if we see the start of the process, if we are not slave at this moment, but if we are able to have an action at this moment, to see beyond the wave, we are able to recycle the process. We are able to stop the process. We are able to recycle and to feel better. And so I repeat again, it must be so clear. Every addiction, every moment we want to drink or to smoke, it's like a wave. It starts, and the start is the most important because after, when the process grows, we cannot stop. It's too late. So the key of the teaching today, the key to resolve an addiction, it's not to think about the past. It's just to see our emotions like waves. So for that, it's very important. We will make a short practice together in a few seconds. I will guide you for that. So in meditation and like in neuroscience, we use visualization. What is a visualization? It's a mental picture. And we know, probably that we see. For example, we know that if you see every day movies so violent, you active more violence inside. It's cognitive. If you see more relaxed movie, if you listen music more relaxed, we feel more relaxed. And you know that better than. So the thing very important, it's to see the addiction like a wave. I repeat, it's very important at the moment we feel inside us, we cannot stop, we would like to drink, we need to smoke. This is a key. This key is so short. If we identify the moment, we will feel really better. So, we can ask the question, how can we identify? It's important when we want to see the waves of the ocean, we are sit down and we see the waves of the ocean. You, like me, in our lives, many times we have the chance to see the sea or to see the ocean. If you are not close to a beach, you can see on the internet a picture of waves or you can see a video of the waves, but we see the moment that grow, resolve, stop, and again, and again, and again. Okay. So first thing in the practice, it's to sit down, like sit down on the beach, and to close your eyes and to visualize the wave starts. Because if you do that many times per day, when you will feel inside you the wave of the addiction starts, your subconscious, your brain has memorized that it is a process. We are not slaves of an addiction at the moment we see how it works an addiction. It's very, very important. It just, and when we think, we say, my goodness, it's so simple. And it is simple. In reality, it's so simple to recycle our addiction. It's the key is to see how it works an addiction, like a wave, and the moment the wave starts. So, if we have the chance to go to the beach, we can be sit down on the beach and just we see the wave and we are focused on every wave starts, grow, resolve. If we are not at the beach, we can see a video, we can see a picture, or we can close our eyes and listen some sound of a wave and mentally we see the wave. So in the practice, we use visualization and breath. So when we breathe, we can feel the wave start like that, like an addiction. Okay? We feel, but we skip the breath 3 seconds and we resolve the breath. It is the same thing with an addiction. The addiction starts like a breath, we feel it, we go up, but the moment we keep the breath, this is the moment we visualize that we can stop the wave and breath and get out the addiction. Like we get out the breath, like we get out the wave mentally. So in the practice, we associate the breath, the visualization of the wave, but we must practice when we feel good or every day, many times per day. It is the reason why I teach most of time, and it's my new book and my way of meditation, 1 minute meditation. Just 1 minute. If we practice 1 minute meditation per day, or maybe 2-3 times per day, or every hour when we are at the office, for example, when we are faced to our computer, we can create a short warning, like an alarm clock. And every hour, the first minute, we close our eyes, we feel the start of the wave of the addiction, the start of the breath, we keep and we resolve. If we do that 1 minute every hour, we train naturally the mechanism. Make a joke, we can say that the subconscious make a selfie. We memorize the moment the addiction will arrive inside. And it will be easier because at the moment after you need to drink because it's an addiction, your subconscious memorize that you can be not slave of the wave, but you can see beyond the wave. So we can, in the last minute that we have, we can make a practice together, I propose, be concrete. Of course, when I teach, like I have explained, and I teach only private lesson because every people is so special. Today, just a conference to explain the theory of the practice. But when I teach, every people it's a special character, education, religious, maybe no, every people is very unique. So when we teach private for every people. But today we can make an exercise together. So I imagine you are not at the beach, you are in your home, and we can make a practice together. So I will clap 3 times, like a gong in a monastery. At the third times, we close our eyes and we will listen the meditation guide, the voice that I will speak to you, to visualize the waves like a beach. Okay? So we can start. Just we are present. Just we are sit down. Sit down like on a beach. But just we are sit down, face our computer, face the screen, and just we breathe slowly. If we have many thoughts in our mind, it's like clouds out in the sky. They go, they move. It's the same thing like waves on the ocean. So just we are sit down, face to the waves. We close our eyes and we see mentally the waves and the ocean. And we feel more quiet because we are more present. Then just we close our eyes and we visualize, and with the breath we visualize the start of a wave. And we breathe like that. We keep the breath 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and we reserve the breath like a wave of emotion. We can do again. We inspire. We keep the breath. 1, 2, 3, and we expire. We resolve the wave of the emotion. We can do again. It's so simple. First we breathe. We keep 1, 2, 3, and we resolve the breath. We inspire. So we do again, and now we see that when we inspire, when we breathe, we feel a wave inside us. We see mentally the wave. We keep the wave. 1, 2, and again. 1, 2, 3. And now we can imagine that we would like to drink or to smoke, and just we feel the addiction like a wave. We breathe the addiction, but we see the addiction and we keep the breath 3 seconds and we see clearly the process of the wave of the addiction and the emotion, and we resolve. We can train again. We are sit down on the beach. Sit down, face our computer. Our eyes are closed. And just we are present. to this wonderful moment that we share last night. So just we are sit down, we breathe, and we see mentally the wave of the addiction. We see the wave, 2, 3, and we get out the addiction. We do it again, last time. We breathe the wave of the addiction. 1, 2, 3. We see mentally the waves. We keep the breath and we are resolved. And we feel more calm. And just we stay in silence a few seconds, because it's a wonderful moment to be present to our emotions and to see for the first time our emotions like waves, our addictions like just a wave. And we open our eyes slowly and we feel more peace. If we see around us, we see all seems more new. The colors. If we do that with our fingers, we feel the tactile, the sense is more developed. Because our brain is a muscle, and when we practice, we stretch the brain. So, just to finish, I would like to say one thing, maybe the most important thing. An addiction, every emotion, it's just like wave. And if we are able to see the start of the wave, if we train 1 minute per day, or 1 minute every hour, we reprogram our brain of conscience, and day after day, the brain works for us. So to cure an addiction or to recycle an addiction, it's a blessing. And one day we understand that our addiction were the best spiritual teachers that we can have. Every addiction, every problem, this is the best teaching that we can receive in our lives. To grow up, to learn, and to be happy every day. To be present every day. So one day, like we say in Copan Monastery, we say, thank you, my addiction. Thank you so much. Like a child, in your arms. I will take care of you. You have saved my life. Because you have taught to me the most important thing in my life, to be present. And when we are present, we enjoy every situation of the life. And we are happy every day. We are in paradise. Thank you to each of us.
Thank you, Michel. And just check, can you hear me? Michel, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, I just wanted to check that my microphone was on. Thank you, I feel very relaxed now. I think, I've kind of become interested in mindfulness and meditation after I stopped drinking, and I totally agree with you that I'm really am grateful that I drank far too much for a long time, because I've learned so much about myself and about how to be in the present moment and to appreciate the things that really matter in my life since I stopped drinking. It genuinely is something that I'm pleased happened to me, because I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't have gone through that. So I think it is really, it's not kind of making light of a problem. It's about seeing seeing it as something that can help you grow and develop in a way that you would never be able to ordinarily. And it really has been the case for me, that definitely. So thank you.
The most important, like we say, it's not to practice a discipline 2-3 times per week in a yoga room. No, because when you go back in your daily stress, your daily life, we have the same problem. It's the same thing if you go in vacations. You enjoy your holidays, but after when you go back in your life, we have the same problem. Now, the most important is to train our mind in our daily life. It is a reason why, for example, when we are at work, face to our computer, because most of the time we work with a computer now, we can create a sort of short warning every hours, like alarm clock, and we can say, oh, during 1 minute, I close my eyes and just I practice like we have did today. Of course, I repeat again for every people who are watching this, it's a short teaching, because the answer of your question, you see, takes 200-300 pages of a book to answer in details. I have tried just give a very, very short answer. But the thing is also, I have made a short meditation guide for you and for every people. But of course, if we want a real teaching, it's a very private and personal, because every people is very special.
Yeah.
Every people needs a special visualization. I have given to you the visualization of the waves. Many times, for example, I give the visualization of the mountain. Like a mountain. Because we need stability when we have addiction.
Okay.
So we meditate like a mountain. We have sit down like a, so we have infinite visualization, like infinite medicine. But every person is a special case. Every person needs a special visualization and practice. But just today I have given an example.
Yeah, and different things will work for different people. I think, as a starting point, it's just so helpful to deal with it. When you're talking about drinking and trying to stop drinking. It's so helpful to just really, in a really basic way, just recognize your emotions as something that you can choose to ignore. And I just used to feel, wound up or upset or angry, and I'd just go with it and thought, there was no other way of. And now I've kind of really learned to recognise that those things are just emotions, and your analogy of the wave and being able to visualise those emotions and being able to ride them and just sit through them and know that they'll pass is it's such a helpful way of dealing with it. It's helped me massively. So if people do want to, just read about mindfulness or kind of contact, go to a local Buddhist centre or just kind of find out more about it, it's definitely worth investigating as a way of helping deal with cravings.
The visualization of the waves, it's very interesting. And me, like I have explained to you, I work a lot with doctors. Like Natalie Trent, the doctor, she works at Harvard University in Boston. Or Dr. Mario Beauregard, as we say, or Dr. Joan Levesque, also in Montreal. And they explain, and we have the same opinion. Maybe one of the highest teaching is to learn how to see our emotions. To be under the wave, but to be sit down on the beach and to see the wave. If you want another picture, for example, we can say to see the movie of our life, but to sit back in the
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's a really good way of putting it.
to have a distance with
Yeah.
a movie, to don't be
Yeah.
inside the screen, but to be sit down at the back of the theater. Me,
Yes.
I love the wave of the ocean because it's poetic and it's easy. We can just listen some waves in our sound or just to see a video of waves. And and the the precision, the quality of the visualization is the key to see how start the process. And like we explained, the most important it's at the beginning of the process. This is the most important. The key, it is the reason why when I say all time, it's easy to stop to smoke. It's easy to stop to drink if we do the good practice.
And
If
if you
we
can recognize the craving right at the beginning and yeah,
Exactly, exactly. All the teaching, it's not to talk about the past. Of course, it's interesting to make a therapy. It's good. I don't say it's not good. It's good. But me, my teaching is the present moment. If we are able to see the start of the process, we are cured at 70%.
yeah,
After, it's very easy. And we can say my addiction was the blessing of my life. It's very
yeah,
important to be positive, to don't feel guilty. It's very, very important to be confident because when we have a problem, Shepard or Jerin Koche, my teacher, every day say, Michel, when I have a problem, I say, thank you. I am so happy because it's not a problem, it's a teaching, it's a challenge. We go to school again. And me, I am in this case, every day I have many problems. So, but of course, sometimes we can say, I have too much teachers. I am fed up to go back to school. But, but, but we must also consider our addiction or problem like a child in our hands and to say, my little addiction, thank you so much. You teach me a lot. You are the teacher, the guide of my life because you are concrete. For me, spirituality must be very concrete, very concrete. It's not of teaching very complicated of nirvana, vipassana, methodology. No, 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 no. The most important is to be simple, simple. Because in reality, life is simple. To recycle an addiction, it's simple. To love is simple. But we are too much complicated for nothing.
yeah.
It was the first chapter of the book Instant Sacré, Instant Sacred with Dalai Lama, was about that. Dalai Lama said we create 90% of our suffering because we are too much complicated for nothing. And in our world, we think that if we are not able to recycle with a complicated way, it doesn't work. No, it's not true. More it's simple, more it's easy, and more it works. But it's so simple to understand that. So
Yeah.
we I teach very simple, just 1 minute, and something so simple. Because in reality, the key is to see the start of the way. That's it.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. That was really, really helpful. I'm feeling very relaxed and calm. And apologies, we had a slight problem with the sound. There was a bit of a fuzzy sound problem at this end, so I'm sorry about that if it interfered with anybody's understanding of the presentation. But hopefully, you'll have gleaned some tips about meditation and how to get started. And you can find out more about Michel's services on our Soberistas discount page if you want to find out more about what he offers via Skype. So thank you, Michel. It was really great.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to all the people. I try to do my best in English. I am French.
Oh, it's brilliant. You've got very good English. Just one question, Michel, before you go. Somebody's asked if you've got any recommended readings.
The book of the life. The book. No, no, it's not a book. I mean, like a joke. The book of the life. I mean, for me, the book of just to be present, to open the book of every day. Every day is a book. Every day it's a new chance. So
Yeah.
just to see the book of the day. Of course, I can recommend my book, 1 Minute Meditation, but for
I think
me,
I'm going to buy your book.
no, but for me, the best book is to open the book of the life.
Okay.
The best teaching for me, is, for example, we give today the example of the waves, it's to read the book of the waves at the ocean, because the waves teach a lot. Every emotion, it's like a wave. Between two emotions you see there is nothing, it's a real book. So, and there is no interpretation. The only problem, me, it was my intuition in my monastery, it was because the spirituality, it's not enough adapt to our world. Because when we have money problem, when we have love problem, if we drink, if we have many problems at home with child, we cannot say, oh, you must meditate, you must do this, you must do that. We have too much problems. So just we must adapt very concretely the spirituality in our daily life.
Okay. Well, I like that idea. I like the Book of Life. I'm going to apply that. Well, we've had lots of people say thank you and how much they enjoyed it and how helpful they found it. So thank you again from
Thank
Soberistas.
you so much from all my heart, and I hope that through this little conference we feel a good energy,
Yeah.
because there is the teaching, but there is a transmission of a good energy. Before to teach, to do, I pray for every one of people who are watching this short conference to give all my heart to every one of us. And thank you,
Oh,
Lucy. Thank
thank
you, Sean.
you.
Thank you for, it's a gift for me. It's a gift for me
Oh, it was a gift for
to
us
teach to you.
too.
It's an exchange. There is no master, there is no student. Now, we must become the master of our life. This is the disciple of our life. It's very important.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Have a nice afternoon in LA.
Thank you, Lucy.
Bye.